Lights on here. There we go. Get some light on the subject. Camera where we need to have it. There we go. And we should be good. If anybody's in, please hit the like button. Let me know you're there. Greg Hart, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Wait a couple minutes and Ronald Coward, hello. Patsy, hello. What's up, buddy? I just got the Tom's Food Factory, Cynthia Wesley. Hey. Hey, Val. We'll just do a quick close-up of the chicken here real quick to scare off any vegans before we get started. Glenn Campbell, hello, the Rhinestone Cowboy. What's happening? There we go. All right. Let a couple more folks give it another 30 seconds, and see if get a few more folks, give them a chance to come in, and then I'll go over what we're making today and all that. Which hopefully, like I say every single week, this should be fairly easy and not take very long. We've got it all written down, got it all planned out. So, I mean, what the heck could go wrong, right? Let's see. Cast Iron Chaos, how are you, my friend? But as you can tell, we got some, let's see. I see the meat has already been pounded. I didn't want to catch I didn't want to catch a YouTube strike. So the meat has already previously been pounded, and we are ready to go with that kind of stuff. How about some waffled chicken? Yeah, that's there's going to be something similar to that here pretty soon. I got that feeling now that there's a new waffle iron in the house. And shout out to Artie Bliss, who was in here, Cast Iron Adoption, who was last week's guest, and gifted me that very, very nice tapered logo waffle iron that now has a new home. And once I get the handles fixed, which the handles weren't really a big deal, it's only one of the handles, it just needs a refresher fit and all that. And that's all that thing needs. It's already beautifully seasoned thanks to Mr. Bliss, and it's ready to go. So there's going to be some waffles. There's going to be some more waffleized things going on in this kitchen. I can assure you. Let me get gloved up. Can everybody hear me? Okay, just give me just one person or something. Say yeah, you can hear me all right, and we'll get going. Yeah, we are actually making tonight, because I had everything here to make it, and I have not left my house in about a week. I am making Marry Me Chicken, or Tuscan chicken as I usually call it. I didn't realize it was called Marry Me Chicken until I was double checking my recipe, and actually, it was a little easier to make the Marry Me Chicken as opposed to my usual Tuscan chicken. I didn't have quite the ingredients to do all of the other ones. But I've got the star of the show back here heating up, the 2005-ish number 10 cast iron skillet. But I'm going to be turning my fan off that I didn't do. I'm going to be turning the fan off here so everybody can hear me a little better. And everything else, and the dishwasher that still was supposed to be done 10 minutes ago, but the dishwasher was still running. So I just canceled that out. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing this in number 10 Lodge, 2005-ish, like I said. I've got it heating up here, and I'm going to be using my little screen, so because I'm not going to run the fan tonight because that gets way too loud. I can always hear it in the back, and I'm going to test out how much of how hot this skillet is getting by throwing, as you guys have seen before, my trimmings always go into the pan first before anything else. One, because I can give them to the dog and the dog will leave me alone. And number two, it adds a little bit of fat into the inside and gets a little bit of that nice chicken flavor going. So I'll throw the top back on that. I haven't thrown any oil, I haven't thrown any butter, I haven't thrown anything like that in there. But this should be relatively easy. I've got everything down. I've got about 1.25 pounds of trimmed and beaten chicken. And Scotty's backyard, hey buddy. But I've got that pounded down. They're about not quite a 1/4 inch and not quite a half. We'll say 1/3 of an inch thick. One was a little thicker than the other one, so I'm just going to put them in that order. I'm going to let the skillet continue to sort of let that chicken kind of sit in there and get the chickeny goodness going, and then we'll get everything started. I've got a dredge over here on the side, which is just Kentucky kernel flour cut in half with all-purpose flour, and then there's a little bit of red pepper flakes in here, a little bit of pepper, black pepper, some oregano, some dried oregano, and some garlic powder. And it's just sort of incorporated in there with and a total of about a half a cup of flour, I'd say. It's not going to take much. The chicken has been dried and sitting out for about 30 minutes now, so it's pretty much at its limit of where I want it to be. But it's nice and dry. It's been patted dry. It sat here on the glass for a little while. Plus the dishwasher was on underneath it. So there we go. So it's got a nice kind of a warm countertop. Plus it's kind of chilly in my house tonight. So with a nice, what is it, about 13 degrees outdoors. Hey Huey, what's up, buddy? William Hurt, good to see you. Move this around. Let's just go ahead and get started. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to hang tonight. Let's see. Yeah, that's moving around. But yeah, marry me chicken. Pretty easy stuff. You probably, whether you know it or not, you probably have everything in your house to make this stuff. Super easy dish. I guess it's an old Italian dish, but I've been making something pretty similar to it for years. It's what I usually use this on. I make this in the summertime when I have a lot of cherry tomatoes that I've dehydrated or let dry out in the sun for the day. I do have some partially dehydrated tomatoes, and one of the reasons that I do the partially that I'm going to do these partially dehydrated is because Marry Me chicken sauce is kind of a thicker, sort of thick. It's got a little bit of Parmesan cheese and stuff melted into it, and it's a really thick sauce. So I wanted to kind of thin it down just a little bit. So I took the Roma tomatoes. I've got 4 Roma tomatoes that I'm going to be throwing in here in a little bit, and those are partially dehydrated, about 5 hours instead of 12 to 14, which I normally would dehydrate. A full Roma tomato, I didn't cut them. I just let them kind of sit in there in the oven and do that. So let me see, we've got, starting out with our 1.25 pounds of chicken, sliced and pounded. And then we're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of butter that I just happen to have sitting right here. And get our butter going. And I'm not at quite a medium on there. I'm a little less. I'm at a number 4 on there. So first I'm going to throw in my thing here so I don't get lost. So I'm going to do my 2 tablespoons of butter, roughly. So we get our first one there. Oh, and I got to take the chicken out. I take the Beagle's chicken out. Those out of there. Set off to the side so those can cool for the dog, because if I don't cool them down, she's going to come out and just eat them and then eat pipe blazing hot chicken pieces. Alright, so set that off to the side. Those are as done as they need to be. Yeah, it's already been done. The pounding has already commenced. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do that on there because I was afraid that the bag would pop open and rip. So I already had it. Already had that part taken care of. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna get our butter and our olive oil going. Whoa. There we go. And another tablespoon or so of the butter. That in there. That one up to the top. And then we'll take and we'll get so 2 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, so get that heating up. And then I'm immediately going to go over here and I'm going to dredge this chicken. So I'm going to throw the fork off to the side. I don't need that anymore. And we're going to throw this in here. Let that oil get good and hot. Make sure we got a light. You don't need to do anything to this to begin with. Like you don't have to have any kind of a, like you don't have to buttermilk it. You don't have to soak it in any kind of egg wash. You don't, it's not a Kentucky Fried Chicken or Lee's chicken style. It's just going to be like that. And they don't have to be perfect. And if you don't have a half cup of flour, you can always, it doesn't take a full half cup. I just like to have it so I can get it in there okay. And that also depends on if you're going to use a lot more chicken than I am. Like I said, I'm just using a 1.25 pounds. I'm going to let that sit and just sort of hang out there for a second. Make sure I didn't miss any spots like I did on there. That sit for just about a minute. Throw some more on there. Make sure I got everything covered. And there we go. Okay. So we'll throw these first. This one here this is a little, must have missed on that, so we'll keep that up at 4. Throw these in here. Let them get going. Give those we're going to give these about a minute head start. Just about a minute. It's going to be about, I don't know. I always say it's only going to take a second, but I'm going to do the internal temperature on these, so it's going to be, I want it to get about 150, 155, somewhere in that range before I pull them off. And then I'm going to pull that off, and then I'm going to make the sauce for that after that part. In which the sauce to this is amazingly easy. And this dredge that I've got on there is going to help to kind of thicken this up. You won't have to add any kind of flour or cornstarch or anything. That's one of the reasons you can do this without the flour as well. But when I do this with my regular Tuscan chicken, which I have a lot more stuff, and the reason I'm not really doing my style is that I use a lot of fresh herbs that I don't have right now, and just different things from the garden that I don't have. Fresh chives, green onions, all those kind of things that aren't around right now because it's 13 degrees outside. So I'm gonna let this sit. I'll check out the comment section for a second and see what's going on. Bob the Builder, hey buddy. Cynthia Wesley, hey. Yeah, I took the edge off. I took a little cold medicine before I came on. I'm definitely taking it. So okay, we're just gonna throw that up there. Throw this one up at the top. And we're gonna move this over. Move that out. Move that over just a smidge. Don't want them to touch. Flour back on top of that part. Pat that down. I'll put this one in there. There we go. Beautiful. We're just wanting those to brown up. Let me see. Dog snacks are done. But I'm telling you, this dog is like 4 rooms away, and I'm gonna drop this food I'm gonna drop this little bit of chicken into that bowl, and she can hear it from 4 rooms away. And she'll be in here in seconds. So let me move this part and my flour out of the way because we're done with that. Alright, we get caught up on some of these things. I don't know if everybody else has experienced the weather like I am here, but this is not cool. And as I predicted, she's out here searching right now. Okay, you're re-gloved up, and I'm gonna... Yeah, I don't know how anybody could submarine. I don't think I could ever submarine. I think that would just... I'm really claustrophobic. Like 100% claustrophobic, and I don't think I could ever... Oh, lost my light. There we go. Accidentally unplugged my light, sorry about that. So we're going to start giving this a flip. These over. A little crust on there. I think I'm going to let that sit a little longer on that side. Just a little bit longer. Like I said, we're going for temperature, not how it looks. Or, yeah, you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about, even if I don't. But I am going to try and leave them just a little undercooked so that they're not completely dried out and having a heck of a hard time when once I pull these off. And I did move the heat up to about halfway up. Move some of that around. There we go. And then once I start making the sauce, this is all in one pan except for my Cynthia Wesley Tefal pan that I've got over here on the side. I've got Cynthia Wesley's pan here so I can boil my pasta. And I'm gonna use a caprese pasta tonight because it just seems to kind of, once it grows, it kind of just holds everything a little bit better. I didn't want anything with holes, and I didn't want to do anything that was a spaghetti style. Do a lot of cool things for 20, but was young and dumb. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it is. When you're a lot younger, you don't think about things for 20. There we go. That's about what I want. Just a little bit of. I don't want it burnt, but I don't want it. I want it to have some. And like these on this side to my very right, and your very right, are just a little bit thicker than the ones here on the left. There we go. But I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't want to get to the point where it's all dried out and chewy. Some of that oil there to the back. There we go. We got a little hot spot over there on that side. I don't have as much oil over there either, so. This sec had to turn that fan on. Yeah, it's a little off. It's not terrible. But the other thing was the beginning of last fall, I replaced the grates underneath here, or the whatever you call those things. But I replaced those, and they don't seem to fit that great. So I'm waiting for when we get to the other part of the season here, into the spring, I can replace these again. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to start doing some temperature checks on this. There we go. That one's done. This one's done. Bring this one into the center. There we go. $149 for these. That one's done. Let that one get a little more color. That's got about 10 more degrees to go. We'll let that sit in there and lone soldier it a little bit. There we go. But yeah, the things with the drip pans underneath my coils, that doesn't just, some of them just don't fit. They just don't fit that great in here. So it kind of throws it off a little bit. Like I said, here in another, I'm really waiting for, I cannot wait for the first part of April where I can start really opening my kitchen windows up again and when I clean the stove out for its spring cleaning is when I'll do that. When I'll mess around with that stuff. Yeah. But these over here, I'll move the camera around just a little bit. You can see that. Those came out pretty good. Those came out nice. And they're right at about, they're sitting right. That one's 157. This one's 159. 154, sorry. So 160. So I'm going to pull that soldier off. There we go. And we'll set these off to the side. There we go. So that's sit down there. And now for the next part, we're just going to kind of brown up a little bit of, some that around in there. Got my spatula. Should always have a spatula handy. Just to kind of, I'm going to need that anyway. We'll move some of that oil in there. There we go. And we're going to take a little, about a tablespoon, a little more than a tablespoon over here. There we go. Is that fan bugging anybody? Because it got a little bit of, kind of smoky in here for a second. I'll bring that back around. So then now, so we've got the chicken. The chicken's gonna sit off to the side and it's gonna drain and do all of its, that it's gotta do. And then we're gonna do another tablespoon of butter. Because this is a really low calorie, not keto dish, right? So, got a little more than a tablespoon of butter, which is what I want. And I've got this, I've turned this way down. This is what we're gonna need to do. And then I'm gonna go with and I'm just gonna, I've got 3 tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic. So we're gonna get going in there. In that butter. There we go. Now that that's, got a quick brown on it. And then we're gonna do a cup of chicken broth. I'm going to do 1 cup of chicken broth. Not stock, chicken broth, which I generally tend to use broth instead of stock. That way I can save me from having to use so much salt and everything. And then I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup. Three-quarters of a cup of half and half. Now, a lot of these recipes you'll see they'll call for cream, but I'm gonna go half and half with mine. And we're gonna do that and let that get those little bits and everything out of the bottom. And then we're going to let that, we're going to add our tomatoes now. We're going to add the tomatoes. Now if you're going to use a dried, like a sun-dried tomato, you would want to do the step to rehydrate the tomatoes first. In this situation, it doesn't make any difference because I'm gonna take and I'm gonna stir this around a lot. But if you were using an actually fully dried tomato, you would want to put it in there and soften it up while it was with the butter and the garlic and the olive oil. You'd want to kind of put them down together. But this is only going to take about 5 minutes to get this going, and that was the other reason. We're going to keep that right about, we're going to put that right about in the 4 position. I got a little bit of dried basil that I dried along with the tomatoes today. All right, I can turn that fan back off. There we go. There we go. And these are going to fall apart. You can see already they're starting to, as I kind of mush them around, these are going to fall apart pretty well, and they're going to incorporate into that sauce real nice. There we go. I'm just going to get all those little bits off the bottom. And I'm not going to do anything until I'm not going to add the next ingredient for another couple minutes. I'm just going to kind of move these around and let this I want this to kind of come up to a simmer and then turn it down even more. It's kind of the idea behind all that. We're going to want this to come up to a simmer, which it will. It's just got to give itself a chance. There we go. It's got a nice color. It'll have a really nice color here in a second when I start adding some more stuff to it. There we go. All right, we'll just let that sit and come up to a simmer. There we go. All right. Where we at? Let me see. Let's get caught up on the chat here. Fuzz, hey buddy, what's up? Want to watch already listen on Honey's channel. He said he had 3. Maybe you want to buy some more stuff. Yeah, you can never. As long as you got the space, you can never have too much cast iron. That's for sure. I don't know how many I said at the beginning of the year that I wouldn't get any more cast iron, and I've already picked up at least 3 more pieces this year. So I say that I won't, but I always end up doing it. So break these up, get this up to the simmer like I said. And I'm going to grab a little bit of, let's see. Oh, that's funny. There we go. But yeah, we'll let this kind of thicken up. And once we put in the chicken, it's going to thicken up a little bit. There's no cornstarch. There's no anything special to it. You just got to kind of be patient and let it get. You don't want to mess with it too much because you'll scald the milk or the half and half or cream or whatever you use. Like I said, I have half and half in this. But if you bring the temperature up too much, it's going to scald, and you do not want that. But I am going to take the time right now, and this is where I'm going to, let me see. This is also where I'm going to throw in a little bit of black pepper or white pepper, just a little bit. A little white pepper in there. I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper for some kick and color. I'm going to break out a little bit of oregano. A little bit of oregano into there. There we go. This is really buzzing along. We got the simmer, so there we've got our simmer that we want. That simmer that we want. Kind of break up some of these tomatoes. And if you're using sun-dried tomatoes, you're going to have a whole tomato by the time you're done. So that's something to also keep in mind. Like I said, I put four Romas in here that I put in the dehydrator for about 4 or 5 hours today. I think it was 5 altogether. And I think I was at 200 all day on a baking sheet. Because doing whole tomatoes, I have dehydrators that I use for smaller stuff, but it's hard to use the dehydrator for a full piece of full piece of fruit like these. Let me grab some. I'm going to cut some basil off that I've got growing there in the corner. Okay, turn that down now that that's simmering. So get a nice simmer going with that, and keep it at simmer. Now we don't want it to overboil and scald that dairy in there, because we've still got a couple more things to put in. Let me throw this. I got the basil that I just cut off, and we'll run that through in there. There we go. Nice size basil pieces. Those off to the side. And we'll save this other piece for at the end for the garnish, but I want that whole basil in there to give this just a little bit of color. Keep that at about 3. That's where we want it. So I'm gonna have to do some of the camera angles, because this side of the stove is usually the burners I use that I'm way more used to using. Like if I make breakfast on this side. My griddles and everything sit over here, and then I do everything over here. But I do everything like I'm doing everything opposite, because it's in the because of where the camera can sit. Let me see here. And then, so we're right here. We've got that little bit of a simmer going. And here's where I'm going to add. I'm going to add about a cup of Parmesan cheese. Let's do a shaved Parmesan. I'm not going to use the. I do have both, but I've got this sitting in here that needs to be used. So, and the shaved stuff, it works a lot better than the powder. So we've got. I'm going to do a cup of this into there. Is it just about that much? Yeah. A little bit more. There you go. And this is really going to thicken up. This is really going to thicken this sauce up. This is where it gets. This is where we're kind of in the final stretch here. Once I get this incorporated in and put my Parmesan cheese back away, then once we get that melted and I get the chicken put back in here, because you can see, if you can see it, let's see if I can get you a little closer. Oh, this darn, why does this light keep going off? This darn thing. Oh, I keep stepping on, my bad. My bad. But yeah, well, if you can see that just a little bit better, just incorporate that in there a little bit. And that's really going to thicken up. It's going to thicken this up. Man, this smells so incredibly good. Smells so good. This cheese sort of separated out. And it's all going to slowly but surely melt into what you want without having to add any flour or anything like that. And once I get to that point, then we'll put the pasta on, and then it'll be the amount of pasta, and that's going to be all you're going to need with it. See what's going on with my light. It's got dark in here. Oh, my cord's all wrapped up. That's what it is. My bad. Sorry about that. My cord got wrapped up and it unplugged everything. There we go. Looks like I have a short in this thing. It could be. Everybody steps on it. I step on this darn light cord during all these shows. I might have put a short into it. But yeah, this is really looking pretty decent. The skillet might have got a little hot with the oil, and it's kind of darkened the butter up, but overall, if I really wanted to be picky about it, I could just go through and sort of just kind of take that top layer off of there. But that's one of the other things about using, hey, there's that cheese is starting to, the Parmesan cheese is starting to melt up. Starting to thicken. What we got going on here? Campfires, dirty tires. Thanks. It does look, it smells amazing. I wish you guys could, we'd have the smell-o-vision today. Yeah, the smell-o-vision would be great. Yeah, this Parmesan is gonna, but I'm gonna wait till it creams up. You want to wait. That's one thing that I have with the other type of chicken that I do make is you want to get the you want to let it cream up before you start throwing the chicken back in there, because you'll knock all the trying to thicken when you try and thicken up the cheese into everything. It will it'll take all the coating off. So once I have it in there, I don't really, once I put the chicken in, I don't want to really beat it up. I just want it to kind of sit. I think I am going to take, I don't like how how my butter sort of got a little darker in there. Not a fan of that. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's let this keep going. You just got to give it, you got to kind of keep stirring. It's like, you know, like any other Italian sauce, you just got to kind of keep stirring it and stirring it and stirring it to get it right. Sort of like that one, the kid on Goodfellas, where they had the kid in there all day long while they were getting ready, they were all getting ready by the FBI. And they had the guy's younger brother in there and just did nothing but stir the sauce all day long. There we go. But yeah, you can see that this smells really, 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 really good. But I think that I am, just for aesthetic purposes, I am going to just kind of skim some of that darker, where the heat kind of got away from me in between. I should have maybe let it maybe sit and chill out a minute before I started putting the other stuff in there. But I'm going to skim that off just real quick. Use the old blue streak. Use the old blue streak. If you can find one of these online, you should get one. One of the old T&S blue streaks. I love how these things are. But just take this, kind of get some of that off to the side. Some of that, so it looks a little nicer. There we go. This has a better look. There we go. Just some of that oil that's kind of darkened up a little too much. There we go. And I think I might actually use the rest of that basil over here and put in there. And let that kind of sitting there. There we go. There we go. Nice. Add a little more. And you know, you can have too much basil, but I find with basil, once you hit the color, once you nail the color of it, then that's where you know everything. When everything looks nice with Italian or Tuscan dishes, once they look good, that's when they are good. They've got to have that aesthetic. That's the reason that they look the way they do. There we go. Like I said, I'm gonna take that off. Take a little bit more of that. Skim just a little bit more of that oil off of there, that butter oil. And put that over here. Oh, and bump into the camera like I always do. Alright, so let's let that simmer. See what's going on in the comments section for a second. for a couple minutes and get a drink. Let's see, Cynthia, and you must remember cast iron being $1 per inch for skillets. I remember when, if we're talking about restoration, I remember that. Well, actually, I remember when it's $10. Sorry, it was $10. $10. That $10 would be like what? A 3 would be 30, 4 would be 40. Or, is that how it was? I forget. Frank Morello, how you doing, pal? Good to see you. Yeah, there's going to be plenty. Yeah, beard cam. Yeah, the beard does get in the way. But it hides this ugly mug, so it serves a purpose. Jimmy Langford, we're making Marry Me Chicken. Or Tuscan Chicken. Strong's Adventure, hey buddy. Campfires, Dirty Tires, I don't think I'm that far from you. You could probably drive and get it. Just had to go because cell phones and sending pics and videos take 5-day delivery. I must have missed out on that. Yeah, we got this simmering. Yeah, we'll get this. That's starting to shape up. This is the part. Everything else was kind of going along pretty well. It's going along pretty well, and then we started getting to this point. But I think that's okay. That's not bad. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to, the cheese seems to be incorporated pretty well. It's kind of lumped up a little bit, but that's the tomato. It's probably just a little bit of the tomato. The acidity's kind of got it sort of kind of separated up a little bit. But there's that. And what we'll do is we're just going to go ahead and add our chicken back in. Down into this. Down into here. Down into there. And down into here. There we go. And we'll just let that flip. Flip this over. Let it sit and get marinate all down in there. There we go. On both sides. But yeah, okay. There's where we are. Well, let's let that kind of marinate in here. I'm going to get the water started for the pasta, because this has got about 10 minutes to sit and sort of marinate into this, and be good to go. I'm gonna get a spoon so I can taste that. If it tastes as good as it smells, I'm gonna be happy. I will be happy. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not complaining about that at all. And let me get some of my mess out of the way. And that way at some point I can get some plates going. It'll be all good. Yeah, this doesn't take long. Does not take long at all. And that sauce is really starting to cream up. Like I said, I don't want to mess with it. Don't want to mess with it a whole heck of a lot. But you want it but you want that to sit and kind of hang out in there. Because I don't want the crust to come off of this. Because like I said, it's not like I didn't egg or milk or any of that stuff. I just put it in there. But I am getting a little bit of curdle on the cheese. But that'll be okay. I think once this chills out in here for a little bit, it'll be all right. I haven't heard anything one way or the other. Kind of hang out and sit here and drink my Tang. Ritz-Carlton lemon pound cake. Sounds expensive. I like that. That sounds really, really good. I like any kind of a lemon cake. What were we looking at today? I was looking at something today. When we ventured out and got coffee. Ming and I, we went and got coffee, and there was something there that was lemon that sounded really, really, really good. And I can't think now what it was. Lemon donut, yeah, lemon filled donuts. That's what it was. Lemon cream donuts. That did sound pretty good. Yeah. Brian, good to see you, buddy. So many folks we got in here. We got a few people in tonight. That's nice. If anybody who hasn't already subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It does help. It does help with the reach. It does help with the all that stuff, as they say in the YouTube world. Oh, there's my tongs. There's my tongs. I moved them when I moved everything else. But boy, this does smell good. And that fresh basil is, that is really helping it out. And giving it that little bit of time, it's melting up that Parmesan cheese really nicely. There, you can see it's not as, there we go. Let's make sure we're getting that covered up and getting that sauce marinated on there. Yeah, this is definitely something. This is definitely something you might want to try at home. I'm really ready to smash on this. I can't wait for my water is slowly but surely heating up for the pasta. Let me see how. But yeah, it's yeah, this is definitely coming along. Like I said, I really wish I could share the smell with everybody. Got a few pieces of Parmesan we can throw in there. Just to add, and we'll add a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit more once I put it all together. Water's heating up. Got our Casa, I think I'm saying that correctly, Casa Riche pasta. Casa Riche. I don't do it with the Italian, with that Italian flair that some people have when they pronounce their countries. I never could understand that people do that, but that might just be a Midwestern thing. Let that sit in here. Just keep kind of piling that on. Keep kind of putting that over the top. Yeah. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I don't have Facebook. Cynthia, I don't have Facebook. I don't do Facebook either. I do not have the Facebooks. Pasta water's coming on. And we'll make like a little bit of, we'll add a little bit of, once I get that together, once I get the pasta done, we'll save some of the pasta water that's in there. We'll kind of mix that up with a little bit of, just the regular, I've got regular Parmesan, like the green can Parmesan. I'm going to throw that in with the pasta water and a little bit of dehydrated chive, some chives in there, and that'll really help to set it off a little. That'll get that So it just won't be some plain pasta. Oh, and some butter. I'll throw some butter in there as well. There we go. And set this off to the side. And we'll sort of start spooning over. Spooning this over. Turn this down just a little bit more. Just don't need it to. You're just kind of warming that chicken back up. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, that's cheesy. That's some cheesy stuff right there. Keep that out of the way. This is essentially done. You could just let this kind of hang out. You could serve this if you weren't waiting on the pasta. You could serve it now, but the longer it sits in there, with any kind of a Tuscan meal, anytime it sits in the sauce, it definitely tastes better. And with Tuscan stuff, there's not a lot of the traditional pasta sauces. Your red gravy style sauce. There's usually not a lot of that in there. It's generally more of a, what we see here, which is with a lot of broth and things like that. Cheese, cream sauce. Speaking of Debbie, is Debbie in tonight? Is Debbie in the chat at all? My best pal, Debbie. I noticed she put a few comments in the messages, or in the comment section today, which was pretty darn nice. I always like to see Debbie in the chats. Let's see. You'll win a Bucky Beaver badge. Bob the Builder, San Antonio, Texas. Been missing her. Yeah, I haven't seen her in the chats too much. I hope she's okay. Hope everything's going. I hope she's just busy. Busy's good. Everything else, not so much. Okay, so we've got our pasta to a roll. Got our pasta water in the Cynthia Wesley pan over here at a rolling boil. I'm gonna add just a little bit of, without getting my beard back in the way, a little bit of oil in the pasta, because I'm not worried. I'm not trying to make this one stick either. I know a lot of people say that your pasta doesn't stick if you add oil, but I'm not going for stick tonight because it's going to be separated. It's going to be kind of over top of it anyway. It's not a red sauce. Do just about half of this. Okay. That. Get our spatula in there, keeping it separated. And this style pasta, it's a little. This style pasta, it's a little more. You can see it's a little thick. And it has the channels in there. I like this. It looks pretty when it comes out. It kind of makes you look like, it helps me make it look like I actually know how to cook something. There you go. That's over here boiling. And set that off. But usually, like most pastas, 7 or 8 minutes is for al dente. This is more. Let's move that around over here. This pasta is more of a 10, 11 minutes, so we'll set the timer for 10 minutes. We'll give it 10 minutes. And I just threw in a little bit of olive oil in here, mostly to flavor it up. Once that boils on my stove now, I can kind of turn it down. That's the thing with electric stove or any kind. I don't know. Maybe it's just how I cook, but I always seem to end up messing with the temperature the whole time I'm cooking. There we go. And we'll let that sit and stand on top of there. Let's see. Beards say, yeah, yeah. Beards save food for later. That is true. Debbie and DePauli and DePaul. I haven't seen. I thought I don't know. DePel Paul. Uh, I've seen them. I thought I saw them in Cast Iron Chaoses not too long ago, but I could be making that up in my head. They know real Italian food and Oh man, McAllister, Oklahoma. But yeah, we're just waiting on the pasta to come through, and once that does, we're gonna serve this up. I'm gonna go call my kid in here. She is actually right now doing her last final for school ever, for high school. Once she has her final turn in after tonight, she will be officially done with high school. I can't believe it. I can remember taking her to the bus in kindergarten, and now she's just about done with everything all the way around. And you also want to keep. Now, like I said, I know I said you don't want to play around with this chicken too much, but you also want to keep it. And I'll flip this around here in a second. But you're going to want to keep. You want to keep it moist, or it's gonna that coating on the outside is gonna suck everything up on there. There we go. Keep that covered up. Back over to the real action over here, not the side of my face. There we go. Keep that covered. Keep those nice tomatoes. You can see that sauce is really starting to. It's starting to get cheese pull in there. Get a cheese pull out of your sauce. That's something you don't get with spaghetti. You don't get a cheese pull with spaghetti sauce as you do your Tuscan dishes. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's where you want it, right there. Yeah, that's looking really good. That's looking really good. I'll take that. I'll take that for dinner. There we are. But it looks like I was about 5 minutes off on where I wanted to be with dinner tonight. But considering this is about the first thing I've made all week, I need to get back in the swing of things. Which is why I decided to do the live anyway. It was just sort of get back to. I had so many things planned for this week. I did not plan to end up spending most of the week in bed. That's for sure. Yeah, Fuzz was probably driving to 5th and 6th grade basketball practice. There we go. Let's see where we're at. I'm telling you, it's smelling really good. I'm not sure why it's separating so much. I usually don't have that. It's because I'm filming this. If I wasn't filming this would all come together real nice. But it's starting to uniform. Like I said, you got to kind of give it that little bit of time while your pasta's cooking. But normally the oil doesn't separate as much as it is tonight, and I don't know why that's doing that. I really have no idea. But it's still gonna taste good. It just usually looks a little more aesthetically pleasing than it does right now. But that's also Tuscan. Tuscan isn't. It's more hearty than it is. It's like Italian, like straight up Italian, like Sicilian cooking is. It's the red sauces and the cheeses and the fresh fresh vegetables, as to where this is more, Tuscan's more of cream sauces and chunks. Everything seems chunky, and everything's more more whole as it's cooked. But yeah, Italian food just seems a little more, actual Italian seems a lot more pleasing to the eye than Tuscan does. But I really, like I said, I do a different thing with my dehydrated tomatoes in the summer, which is just about basically about this. It's about the same thing. It's just about the same thing. Or the weekday, if you guys remember one of the first videos I did, the weekday sauce is it could almost be considered Tuscan. It's fairly close because it's not like an actual cooked down red sauce. It's just sort of roasted tomatoes and peppers and oregano and that kind of thing. It's not really it's not so much of a thicker red sauce, which is, you know, I really enjoy that. Let's see what's in the comments section. Comments are going by really quick. At least on my end, these are going by pretty fast. Maybe he blocked you. Oh, people blocking each other? I don't have any admins. But I really don't have, I haven't had any problems with trolls either. And some channels, I watch channels, people do lives, they don't like the trolls. I could care less about the trolls. That doesn't bother me at all. That doesn't really bother me. As long as it's not anybody putting in like links to things they shouldn't be putting links to or that kind of stuff. And you can't really put pictures of anything in anywhere, so that doesn't make any difference. So I don't really mind the trolls. Sometimes trolls are actually kind of funny, really. They actually make some funny jokes. He said he can't see me. I missed where you're at. You can't see me or can't see somebody else, Cynthia? Or is it just I'm just in the middle of the conversation and I just need to see my way out? Am I just in the middle of an A-B conversation and I need to see my way out of it? Oh, we can't see Fuzzy. Maybe Fuzzy doesn't want to be seen. Oh, there's the Biggs. Biggs is out here. And I don't know if anybody noticed earlier, but the Biggs is wearing her sweater tonight. She has, her and Min got matching, my daughter Min got matching sweaters for her and the Biggs. Oh, she just found her chicken. She just found her chicken that she got. So no Jay Justice, what's up, pal? Fashionably late, love it. But yeah, the Beagle, I thought the Biggs was already in here and got her chicken already. But she's just now getting it. So I'm not gonna bug her for it to do a trick or anything like that, but I know she looks like this sweater, when she turns around, she looks like a stunt double from the Grease movies. It's ridiculous. There you go. What you got going on, Beagle? Oh, she's had her chicken, she's out. She checked to see if I had anything, and yeah, she's old now. She can have some pasta here in a minute. I think the pasta's got about another minute, and then we're gonna drain most of the pasta water off, and then I'm gonna get the regular. I'm gonna get the regular old Parmesan cheese and some pepper, and I'll let that doctor up. See, there's my lid. I'll be right back. I'm gonna drain this off. Beagle, go. Get going. I got hot water. Okay. And we'll put the pasta right down here. Thought I'd get, oh, I got a little bit of water. I got a little bit of water in there, but not as much water as I wanted. So I'll throw some oil on there. Nice little, give that a nice little oiling up. Mix that around. And the olive oil, then we'll take a little bit of butter and we will throw the butter in here. With that butter mixed in here. There we go. We'll get some black pepper. Some black pepper in there. There we go. And I'll get some of that Parmesan cheese that I was just saying that I had. Get a little bit of this Parmesan here. I like that, and I like that directly on the. I like that kind of. There we go. And getting that in there for the pasta. Yeah. And maybe just a little bit more pepper. We'll do some real pepper on this, so it kind of stands out just a little bit more. There's that. There we go. And we'll have that kind of pasta ready for that. Meng, do you want some of this?
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Okay. Do you care if I serve you up?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
A little bit, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you a whole bunch. More olive oil, just to keep it legit. And then I'm gonna cut just a little more of the, cut just a little bit more basil off on this for this. There we go. Love to have the fresh basil in the house. That's always a must. I gotta have some kind of fresh herbs in the house at all times of the year. Okay. So we got that. Maybe a little bit more of this. More of this kind of thicken that up. I would have liked to have a little bit more pasta water in there. But, you know, people in hell want ice water. Well, we'll get this. Okay. That off to the side. There we go. My daughter's not a big fan of tomatoes, so I'm not going to over tomato her. Take that one off. There we go. A couple sprigs. Bit of fresh basil in there. Maybe a little smaller pieces. There we go. There we are. And there's that for right now. That's the first one. And then for mine, do a little more pasta. A bit more of this pasta. sauce. Break that off. Put that off to the side, and there's that one. There's mine. I think it came out pretty darn good. I think I'll take that. You think it looks good?
That looks so good.
Do you think so? Good.
Do you want a drink?
I still got some of that Tang. I've been keeping the Tang IV going. But yeah, I kind of like how that. I like that. I'm gonna throw. Actually, I'm gonna put just a little bit more. Let's see. I don't want to forget that I had the Parmesan over here off to the side. So we'll just throw a little bit of that on here. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think I'll take that for whatever that's worth. Yeah, nice little marry me chicken. Hopefully I don't wake up in the morning and I'm married. Good God, I don't know what, ugh. That would be awful. But yeah, I'm gonna give that a taste test. And yeah, Tang is still around. Tang actually cured what ailed me this time around. Get my knife. There the dog unplugged my light. Like I said, everybody keeps stepping on my light. To the point where it's almost, I think it's about messed up my cord. This thing gets stepped on so much. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, so there we go. Like I said, there's the finished result of the Marry Me chicken. And I'm gonna cut myself off a piece. I still don't understand the separation part of the sauce with that, but everything else. I'm gonna take about that much of this. That's gonna be try to give it a try. Oh man. Yeah, that definitely. And I always do this. I never get a thumbnail. I always forget to get a thumbnail before I every week. Let me cut off one more piece and then I'm going to go ahead and this is actually the live stream tonight has kind of wiped me out. This is about the most I've been up, and I was glad I could talk. I just really got my voice back for the most part yesterday, because on Saturday, Sunday, Monday I couldn't talk at all. It was just ridiculous. I didn't really get my voice back until about Tuesday, even enough to even speak. My throat hurt so bad over the weekend that I couldn't even, like those Hall's cough drops, those lozenges for your throat. My throat hurt so bad I couldn't even handle one of those. It just hurt my throat so bad. But if you get a chance to try and make that, if you get a chance to try and make it, there's the recipe. I did a 1.25 pounds chicken, 2 tablespoons of butter. Well, I'll just leave it there. If you guys want to, you can read it. My throat's actually starting to hurt right now, so I'm not going to read anymore. But there's the recipe, or you can just rewatch the video and kind of go. I sort of wung a little bit of it, but you know, that's pretty much what it is. And Tang and vodka. I've never had Tang and vodka. I'm trying to think if I ever had any kind of Country Time lemonade. We used to make Lynchburg lemonade with Country Time and Jim Beam, so I've done that. Let's see. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here and call it a night. We actually did not too bad time wise. Little quicker than normal. Little quicker than normal. So I can't. But yeah, it's got me pretty wiped out, and I'm gonna sit down and eat and get this stuff cleaned up so I can get back to being horizontal. So anyway, we'll see you guys. All right. Thanks. See ya.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Oh. Yes. I want to stop.